Hello and welcome back to Dragon Age the Veilguard. We are going to go and see Morrigan this time. I'm fully ready for this to be yet another one like the Grey Warden meeting where it was a 5-minute meeting and then we're done. But maybe it's got huge lore implications and is really cool. So that's what we're going to do. Wait, oh no, those are just wisps. I thought the lights were on. Why am I walking? I say this every time. Why am I walking when I could simply teleport there? Right, let's go this way. Shades of the Blight. Let's go. Who are we taking to see Morrigan? To talk about the Blight. Davrin seems like a good choice. He seems like a very solid choice, as does Harding. I think they both seem like very good choices. And the logic behind them, Grey War, well, I mean, you could just do it in order, right? Like, Alara, I don't think has anything to say. Emmerich, I don't think has anything to say. Lucanus, I don't think has anything to say here. Tash, I think has nothing to say here. So, that leaves me with Davrin, who I think could have quite a lot to say due to it being kind of Grey Warden-y, Darkspawn, Blighty. I think that definitely has some connection. Harding knows Morrigan, so may have some personal connection to Morrigan. And then Nev is generally like our detective and our inquisitive nature kind of person, so often has things to say. I think I'm going to go with Davrin and Harding. I think that makes sense for me. I think that makes a lot of sense for me. Now she applies Sundered. Do we have a way to trigger Sundered? I don't think we have a way to trigger Sundered. In which case, oh, but that's her auto ability, isn't it? Yes it is, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether we have a way to trigger it or not because it automatically activates. Yeah. So we're going to go Harding and Davrin. Davrin's shield is so big that it's actually hiding Harding behind it. That is fantastic. Okay. So. Oh, that was not the right button. At least not yet. Right, journal. Shades of the Blight. Where is it? It is here. Ah, so it's the exact same place as the Grey Warden conversation that we had previously that led nowhere. I see. Okay, well, heading on in.
I can't believe how many people they executed.
Okay. Make our way down here. I love how it's just always raining in Minrathous. It's a certain kind of vibe. Right. Round this way. And in here we go.
And now a dragon. What's happening? Lost their homes.
The team pursues leads that reveal disturbing information about the spread of the Blight, but also gain some unexpected aid. Meet Morrigan at the Cobbled Swan. Let's go.
Why did Morrigan want to meet in Minrathous? Isn't she helping the Veil Jumpers in Arlathan?
Indeed, but today we have a guest, and he needed the anonymity that only a city provides.
Well, look who it is.
Oh.
Good to see you, Lace.
Rook, you remember how Varric and I served the Inquisition? Well, this is Inquisitor Adar, the man who led us all.
Oh. The Inquisitor. Interesting. Well, we'll be standoffish.
You here to help, or are you taking over?
I'm not taking over. Solus fooled the Inquisition. He fooled me. Your team stopped him. And your team is dealing with the gods that escaped.
So you've heard about them?
Morrigan and Harding have told me about what you've accomplished since taking over for Varric. You've put together an impressive team. And you've got the best chance, maybe the only chance, to stop Elgar'nan and Gillenheim.
Ooh, we could say this is on you. Like, it's your fault it got this far. Let's say this is on you.
Sounds like I'm cleaning up your mess.
Rook,
No, Harding. This is my mess.
the Inquisition sealed the breach and stopped Corypheus. We saved the world.
We also left southern Thedas vulnerable to Qunari invasion, as the Exalted Council showed.
But the Inquisition didn't start the Mage Rebellion. We didn't start any of this.
We did our best. But our best had consequences. When those consequences became apparent, I turned the Inquisition over to the Chantry rather than create even bigger political problems. Too many leaders claim credit while avoiding responsibility. I won't be one of them. So, Rook, I am asking you to help me clean up my mess.
Okay.
And while you do so, Rook, the Inquisitor will do his best to ensure that the rest of the world remains intact. A daunting prospect, given that most of the South is under siege by Darkspawn.
It's that bad?
If not for the Inquisitor, the South would have collapsed completely. He has not been idle while you assembled your team.
This is interesting because the Inquisitor that we played doesn't fit this character very well that we are seeing right now. But the Inquisitor that we played also was obviously not the main type of Inquisitor that you would have played during the game. Also, his reasoning for giving up the Chantry or giving the Inquisition to the Chantry isn't obviously my reason for doing it, but that's because, you know, they have to make some choices and they have to, they can't have every possible reason in here. Anyway, let's see what more he has to say. Let's say, how are you here? That's a good question. Alluvians? I mean, Morgan is kind of the person who knows them, which is kind of weird why we have Balara, as I said before, but anyway, how are you here?
If the South is in such turmoil, why come up here just to talk? And how did you get here so fast?
Did you think you were the only one to unlock the secrets of the Alluvians?
Morgan helped the Inquisition use the Alluvians to travel.
While I lack the Dreadwolf's Viravus, I may still scurry between the walls of this world to be where I might do the most good. The Inquisitor asked to meet you, and I thought it might help you to meet him.
Interesting. So, yeah, again, they're blatantly bringing up the fact that Morgan basically knows the most out of pretty much anyone about Alluvians. And we knew where Morgan was, and we didn't ask her about the Alluvians. It's just a very odd, weird plot point that they never, decided to do anything with. Anyway, tell me more about the South.
I thought the gods were mostly active up here. It's really that bad in the South?
Elganon and Gillenane have indeed restricted their activities to the north. But the forces they deployed to the south, the strange new Darkspawn, have spread fear and corruption greater than any blight in history.
Darkspawn have cut through the center of Orlais. Valrayo and Halam Sharal are barely holding out. Ferelden would have fallen already if not for help from Orzammar. With Denerim lost, the Fereldans are holding the line at Redcliffe. The Free Marches have the worst of it. Acting Viscount Aveline Vallon led the evacuation of Kirkwall. She's taking her people and what's left of her army to help Prince Vale keep Starkhaven.
Maker, we didn't know. My mom...
Don't worry. I talked to the Divine and your mother's safe with the Inquisition.
Thank you.
The Inquisition might just be an arm of the Chantry now, but we've still done our part to get people to fight this threat together. Again, the South is my problem, not yours, Rook. You stop the gods and I'll make sure the rest of Thedas doesn't fall to the Blight.
Okay, so Aveline is a companion from Dragon Age 2. Prince Vale, I believe, is a companion from Dragon Age 2, but I think he was one of the... EA was doing something weird with, Day 1 companions. I think it was Shale in Origins, and I think it was him in 2, so he wasn't as fleshed out as the other ones. At least that's my memory of why he was in the game and a little bit odd. Anyway, so that was those two. Interesting, they said Denerim has fallen and they're holding up at Redcliffe, which is, yeah, there's... obviously the scale of some of the cities has changed throughout the games, would be my way of putting it, because Denerim was absolutely massive while Redcliffe was quite small, although I guess it was bigger in Inquisition. Anyway, let's not worry about that. That's the story that we're going with. Also, interestingly, they can't say that your... minor spoilers for Inquisition. They can't say that your character from 2 is in Kirkwall helping, because your character from 2 might not be around to be in Kirkwall. So that is kind of interesting stuff, as well as they can't say that Ferelden has certain leaders because they don't know whether you have certain leaders, because that's a choice they didn't bring forward. It does make it kind of weird that they keep referring back to the previous games so much, but yet they didn't bring in the choices from those previous games forward. It's a very odd situation, right? Like that they would so heavily lean upon the choices from the previous games as for like the basis of the story, but then not bring them forward. It's odd. Like, they've decided that they're gonna have a clean break. This is gonna be a new start. We're not gonna keep track of every choice. But at the same time, they keep referring back to things that the choices would have affected. Also, you have all sorts of other questions, like, if your Grey Warden from Origins is still around, what are they doing right now? Because it kind of seems like there'd be a lot that they could do. Although you have to assume they're in Ferelden helping with the Blight. You get all these questions that kind of stack on top of each other, where it's like, well, what's this person doing? They're like, this is their bread and butter. But anyway, I need your connections, I need your spies, or I need an army. What do we need? We don't really need spies. I don't think spies are the problem. The gods are not sneaky, to put it lightly. They don't have plans and machinations. They just kind of do things. Connections, ability to have people help us wherever we go, that's useful. But again, we don't necessarily need that. We need the Inquisition's army, really.
I have a team, but not much in the way of forces. If there's any military support you can spare.
I'm sorry. Our forces in the south are stretched thin already. And I'm afraid the Grey Warden leadership doesn't think much more highly of me than they do of you.
The Inquisitor did not come all this way to leave you with empty words, however. He brought something no one else could.
A wolf statuette. We've found others like it in the crossroads. Where'd you find yours?
I found it right around the time Solus's ritual failed, when he was pulled into the Fade. We've examined the magic and it's tied to the veil. To him, somehow.
Solus is ancient, and his magic is part of him in a way far beyond that of mortals. I suggest you take it to the crossroads and see if something in the lighthouse calls to it. Perhaps it will yield some insight into your new ally.
I don't trust him. Solus is trapped, or Solus is helping. Okay. Solus is trapped?
Solus is trapped in the Fade. He's not my biggest concern at the moment.
Solus is trapped in your dreams, and while he cannot match Elganon or Gillenane in strength, he is far more cunning. He is the Dreadwolf. He led a rebellion that lasted centuries. How many times do you think the gods thought him trapped and helpless?
Morrigan is right. Solus is dangerous. Anything that gives us some insight into his plans. He fooled us all before. And the whole world very nearly paid the price for it.
We should go, Inquisitor. The armies in the south need you.
Right. Harding, stay sharp. You're my eyes in the north.
Always, Inquisitor.
Rook, good luck. If I come across anything else that can help you, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
Okay. Interesting. I think the main
You
issue
should take a break. Head back to the lighthouse for a bit.
Rook, I was speaking. I think my main issue with the Inquisitor there is that the Inquisitor that we played wasn't nearly as nice. Right? Like, this guy's just a nice, friendly voice that's like, oh yeah, I can help out. Oh yeah, I can help you however you want. Like, what do you need? I can get you this, I can get you that, get you a cup of tea, you know, whatever you need, I'm here for you. While our Inquisitor that we played in the previous game was very much a power-hungry, arrogant type of character, which is very weird. Like, the tone is different. But there was no way the tone could be right, because they only asked you 3 questions. So unless they didn't have the character interact with you at all in terms of a conversation, the tone could never be correct, because in those 3 questions it didn't tell you who your Inquisitor was based on the previous game. again, it's very odd that they would bring the Inquisitor back for that when they didn't need to bring the Inquisitor back for that, right? They could have, in theory, had Morrigan tell you that and have Morrigan be the, like, bring information, or you could have had Harding do that and have her give you the information, which actually makes a lot more sense because she's working for the Inquisition still. Like, if you wanted to put a line under it, what you do is you simply don't, like, bring back the characters from the previous game. You do what they did with the Grey Warden in the first game. Say, they're out there doing something, but we're not talking about them anymore. They're busy, right? The reason why they're not involved is they're doing something else. We don't need to know what it is. They're busy, right? That's how you put a line under it. Bringing them back into the story, it's weird. It just feels weird. It's like, why did you do that? You didn't have to. Like, nobody was clamoring for it, at least as far as I'm aware. It, like, I don't know, maybe they've got
Rook,
more for him.
just got word. First Warden's calling everyone back to Weishaupt. Everyone except me, seems like. Guess the First Warden didn't like me joining your team.
Calling wardens back from all over Thedas is a big step. Did he give any reason why?
Not exactly, but I've heard rumors of a massive darkspawn horde on the move. Even hearing there's an archdemon with them.
Well, that's interesting. Also, again, like, this brings a question. Now that they brought the previous games up, what is the Grey Warden, who you played in the first game, doing right now? Are they going to Weishaupt? Like, it's interesting. Anyway, I didn't expect there to be a conversation here, which is why I was still talking when we finished. Anyway, how far out?
How long do we have?
A day, a week? Darkspawn are charging through the deep roads. Makes it hard to get an accurate idea of where they are. Rook, if the gods have an archdemon, Warden lore says archdemons only show up during a blight. Doesn't say anything about elven gods. Seems like the rules have changed, and we're going in blind. We need to know what we're up against.
I'll talk to Solus, see if he knows anything about any of this. Make sure the others are ready to move.
Okay. Talk to Solus about this. So, now this is where my lore knowledge gets vague, because I can't fully remember it. But there was a, like, the archdemons are effectively theorized to be corrupted gods from when the magisters entered the when the magisters, like, pierced the veil and went through, right? That is what the archdemons are meant to be. They're meant to be corrupted gods, if I've got that right. Like, and you'd have to assume corrupted elven gods. So would that mean that the archdemon would be another elven god? I don't know. Unless they weren't elven gods, in which case they were something else. I don't know, there's too many bits of lore. I need it to recap for me. So, yes. Actually, does it recap in this story? Let me see. Maybe it recaps. Journal. No. Not immediately. Hopefully Solus will explain things. Oh, I need to go speak with Harding as well? On Tash and Never speaking? Okay. Well, I mean, we got other things to do, so we'll leave you, Solus, for right this second. What's this? Do you regret? Ah, yes, so that'll be for the other quest, right? For the one that Morrigan just gave us. Huh. We will do that in a second. Let's do these ones first. So, hello.
The shadow dragons were nice. May and the rest.
We have our moments.
They talked about gender stuff, and I didn't get all of it, but it helped. So, thanks.
Anytime.
Okay. Right, let's head on to Harding next, who is over here. Right. Along this way. Through here. And all the way up this way. I think this one just means that she has a quest for us later. Doesn't necessarily mean anything right now.
Any luck tracking down your mystery friend?
The Shaper didn't like me asking about Shaper Valta, or harassing people with talk of dwarven magic.
That's disappointing.
Damn, that's a disappointment.
Well, I'm not gonna find my answers in Orzammar. My contacts had no idea what I was talking about.
So what now?
I was thinking, the voice said look to those closest to the stone. What if she never meant Orzammar?
Huh?
There is another great tide, the original capital of the dwarves, Kalsharak. It was lost during the first Blight, and its people survived in isolation for hundreds of years. They re-emerged, some 20 years ago?
And you think they're closer to the stone?
Orzammar can't help. What have I got to lose?
What if Orzammar is lying?
Are you sure Orzammar isn't hiding something?
Pressing them for information would be tricky. I could anger someone important. If Kalsharak doesn't turn out, I can go back to poking at Orzammar. But not before then.
Okay, let's talk about Kalsharak.
I'm curious about Kalsharak's isolation.
The dwarves took heavy losses during the first Blight. To stop the Darkspawn from overrunning them, they closed off passages in the deep roads. Those that could retreated to Orzammar. Kalsharak was lost. They abandoned the city and its people, sealed them away with the Darkspawn.
Well, they could have had no choice, but how awful I think kind of fits.
There must have been another way. What they did was monstrous.
Can you imagine being trapped, knowing death was coming?
Ugh, but they didn't die. The rumors...
That the dwarves of Kalsharak had to change to survive? No one's really sure what that means exactly.
When we find them, you can ask.
What do we do?
How do we get in touch with these Kalsharak dwarves?
Already working on it. You don't spend 10 years in the Inquisition without making contacts. I should have a meeting set up by the time we're ready to leave.
Okay. So I'm going to hope that that one isn't locked off by preparing for Wise Up. Okay, let's go this way. Destination available, deep roads. Is this a whole area? It might be. It's got its own area on the map. Okay. We'll see in a minute. Right, let's go here first. I think we should be able to talk with Solus without anything major happening, but let's view Regret first.
You cannot do this, Alganan. You swore that we would give up our commands when this horrific war was over.
Our people need our leadership. If you're unwilling, leave.
Our people must rebuild, and we must help unite them.
So, we did not fight for freedom, but to conquer this land and our own.
We fought to win, and now the Evenuris are as gods. I do not answer to Mythal's annoying lapdog.
The people are afraid. They must believe in something.
They need strength.
And wisdom.
They need gods who can protect them.
We are not gods. You will learn that.
Every lapdog hides a wolf inside.
Okay then.
That was strange. They were speaking Elven, but I understood it.
I believe we have experienced a memory in each of our native languages.
Not just any memory. One of the Dreadwolves.
And the mages who declared themselves my gods? Well, mine and Davrin's, and Rook's.
That game just be like, not mine. Let's say yeah. I think yeah, crying face seems like that might be the right thing I want to say. Maybe.
There they are, the Elven creators. You know how many Dalish legends I learned? Parables I was supposed to learn from? Kinda hard to take them seriously now that I've seen all the politics.
I wish they were monsters. Something grand and terrible. Seeing them like that, they're no better than Tevinter nobles.
But no worse, either. They were people. And people can let you down.
All right. What else can we take from this memory?
Elgranon was hungry for power. Did anything he could to get it, and to hold on to it.
Then Solus, furious at Elganon's installing himself as a despot, started his rebellion.
There's another moving part in this. Mythal. She was keeping the peace.
Mythal and Solus were close. The Inquisition found a temple to Mythal, and there were wolf statues everywhere.
Then she sides with Elgranon over him. A betrayal.
Okay. Well, no wonder he was angry.
It sounded like Solus was loyal to Mythal. What did Elgranon call him? Mythal's lapdog? And then she grabs power alongside Elgranon instead of standing for her principles. I'd be angry too.
Angry enough to start a rebellion?
That's not how he'd see it. He didn't destroy the world. Elgranon did. Solus did what he considered necessary to stop him.
Solus would try to justify what he did, but he'd also blame himself for what happened.
Perhaps these murals aren't simply memories. They're what Solus wishes to forget.
His regrets. That means they're a way to learn his weak points.
Why are we worried about Solus? He's trapped.
Right. But the Dread Wolf was the god of trickery. He's looking for a way out. Bet on it.
Meanwhile, keep your eyes open in the crossroads. If there's a way to restore the rest of these murals, Solus would have kept it in his hideaway. It'd be nice to get inside his head for a change.
Okay. It's not a huge amount there, but a little bit. Like, a lot of information that we could kind of infer previously, right? Nothing too crazy. But maybe there's something in the rest of them. We also kind of know how we get them. We get them, we think, through the memories, right? You unlock the memories, you unlock the doors, and then there'll be those statues behind them. But that's what makes sense to me, anyway. Right. Let's meditate.
How fares your battle?
The gods are moving against Weishaupt and the Grey Wardens. We've heard rumors the Darkspawn are being led by an archdemon.
And you have questions?
I need to know how archdemons relate to the gods. Are they just like the blighted dragons, or are they something else? I also need to know how to deal with the gods if they show up at Weishaupt.
I propose a bargain. I will answer your question if you answer mine.
What?
How are the Grey Wardens? Do they understand the truth of the danger yet?
Ooh. I'd say I proved myself already. I don't think I'm going to say I proved myself already, actually. Because I don't think that it's a problem whether we tell them or not. Let's just say as it is. We don't believe that their leader is correct.
No, the First Warden still refuses to listen.
As I feared.
I tried diplomacy. I tried being firm. Nothing worked.
When I asked why you should be trusted to lead the fight, you said that nobody else was doing it. That sufficed for me. But you will need more to convince the Grey Wardens. They see themselves as destined to lead this battle. You cannot defeat Elganon and Gillenane without the Wardens. What will you do to bring them to your side?
Let the Wardens try. Keep talking to the Warden, so it's about the First Warden. It's about the First Warden?
I don't have to convince all of them. I just have to convince the First Warden.
Or remove him.
Enjoyable as that is to imagine, I doubt the rest of the Wardens would approve.
Did you know the Evanuris once numbered many more than those whose names survive in the Elven Pantheon? One warlord was particularly cruel. I sought to free his slaves, but so fearsome was his reputation that none would join me.
What did you do?
I made people laugh at him.
How did that help?
For 12 years. Every sound near him, from whispered pleas to shouted oaths to crackling fire, all became mocking laughter. His mind broke under the ridicule, and when he fell, his slaves rose up and joined me.
I doubt laughter is going to work on the first warden.
If not that, then what?
Oh, we've got other things we can say. Like we can go back. Keep talking to the wardens.
All I can really do is keep trying to get through to them.
Have you ever ridden home in a wagon and felt the streets go from paved to dirt beneath the wheels? The horse is slow, and everything grows quiet as you're near home. What do you call that feeling?
I don't really have a word for it.
No, you do not. Elganon destroyed that emotion. He burned it from the mind of every living being. There were spirits of that feeling, just as there are spirits of joy, or fear, or despair. I begged them to fight.
What happened to them?
They waited too long. Without the emotion in this world to focus on, they faded until nothing remained. When you grow quiet, it is a part of your soul reaching for a feeling and finding emptiness. Because I failed.
I understand. I'm not going to fail.
How? What will you do?
Whatever is necessary, or let the wardens try. I think I'm just going to say whatever is necessary.
Whatever it takes.
Easily said. But it will have to be enough for now. You have answered my question, and I owe you an answer in return.
Yes. The old gods of Tevinter. The archdemons.
There never were Tevinter gods. The archdemons, as you call them, were always merely the weapons of the Evanuris.
Alright, let's hope we can find the gods before they find their weapons.
Unfortunately, the Dragon Thrall's life force is bound to the Evanuris as both power and protection. You will not be able to kill or likely even harm one of the Evanuris until their Dragon Thrall is slain.
Okay, well, it gave me a recap. However, the recap is... Yep, there were no Tevinter gods. Okay. Tell me of their dragons.
What can you tell me about the archdemons themselves?
Each is different, shaped by the whims and ego of its master. Elganon is the Lord of Tyranny. He would have ruled alone had Mythal not forced him to share power. Those who are strong, he molds into dictators themselves, with visions of godhood. Those who are weak, he crushes. His archdemon reflects him. It is huge, to feed his ego, the epitome of dragonkind, bent to his will.
That'll be his downfall.
What about Gillenane and her dragon? Pride and ego can blind someone. We can exploit that.
By contrast, Gillenane was a servant of Andrul, whose skill at making monsters earned her promotion to the Evanuris. She is brilliant, ambitious, and unconstrained by anything you would understand as morality. In a kinder world, you would never need to see what she has done to her archdemon. In this world, I only hope you kill it quickly. In any event, the Evanuris will not be vulnerable until their archdemons are dead.
How did Tevinter gods talk?
The old stories of the Tevinter gods have them whispering in the dreams of ancient magisters. How did they do that if they were just tools of the elven gods?
The archdemons were once high dragons. The Evanuris bound them as a source of power. When I imprisoned the gods, their dragons remained free. That was my mistake.
How so?
I never bound a dragon to myself, for I believed that to enslave another creature was immoral. As such, I did not understand the power that connection gave. I thought the prison I had made was perfect. But their dragons were the conduit through which they spoke to dreaming minds.
Okay. So they spoke to dreaming minds. And we know that when there's a blight, the archdemons speak to, or like speak to the Darkspawn, and in extension speak to the Wardens, right? So effectively it's the Evanurus speaking through the Archdemons. Well, yeah, the Evanurus speaking through the Archdemons to then speak to the Darkspawn, to then speak to the Wardens. Interesting. Okay. What am I missing?
Any other surprises we should know about?
Even with their dragons dead, the Evanurus are powerful and well protected. You will need to use my dagger, the one you recovered. It can pierce their enchantments and strike them down.
Alright. Kill the archdemons, then use the dagger to take down the gods.
Even a single opportunity to strike the Evanurus down will be rare, fleeting, and costly. You will not have another chance to catch them unawares. When you strike, you must be fully prepared.
Okay. Destination available, Wise Hub. Okay. So we didn't get to... Well, I mean, we got my recap that I was after. Okay. There are some other questions I have, though. Well, actually, just one other major question. In Dragon Age Origins, we were told that it had to be a Grey Warden to kill an Archdemon. Due to something in the blood, it had to be a Grey Warden that would do it. Which meant that they could not just be killed via conventional means. Now, the question I obviously have is, there are 2 Archdemons, and we have 1 Grey Warden. That's not going to work. I mean, unless obviously we get all the Grey Wardens on our side, in which case it's easy. Well, not easy, but you get what I'm meaning. In which case, we're good to go. But, currently, that's just not going to work. Interesting. Okay, what quest do we have now? We also have World. So, we have Lysupt over here, and we have the Harding over there. Also, I think somebody said that there was something I'm missing in the Crossroads, which is now unlocked. So it might be worth looking in there. Missives. Message from the front, fight for the south. Rook. Though the circumstances prompting our meeting were perhaps not what either of us would have chosen, I am glad we did meet. I'd heard of you from Varric, of course, and Harding spoke and continues to speak highly of you. However, the greatest vote of confidence came from Morrigan. She's always had a knack for spotting those who might shift the foundations of the world, even if they don't know it yet. So it was she who suggested we meet, and as always, heeding her counsel proved to be the wisest decision. Unfortunately, I send grim tidings. The echoes of Solus's ritual and the escape of the gods ring across the south, and the smell of war is heavy in the air. In Orlais, a splinter faction of the nobility had made common cause with the Venatori and launched an assault on both the royal forces of Orlais and the border keeps of Ferelden. Antam corsairs harass shipping out of Ostwick, and in the far southern wilds, Blight has emerged once more. Darkspawn in great numbers have been spotted near the ruins of Ostagar. So, Ostagar is the place where the first major battle in Dragon Age Origins takes place. It is also effectively not quite the source of the Blight, but very near the source of the 5th Blight, right? It's where they came out and attacked King Kaelin's army. Kaelin? I think that's right. Anyway. But I told you to leave the south to me, and I stand by that. I share this news not to ask for help, but to remind you and your that you and your people are not alone. The gods stir up the greatest evils in Thedas, yet its people stand stalwart and resolute. Take care of the gods in the north, and I'll make sure the south handles itself. When this is all over, we'll drink to victory. First round's on me. Yours, the Inquisitor. Okay. We've already read that one. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, interesting. So we now have 2 quests. We have the Waiting Stone and we have the Seas of Wiseup. This is obviously the quest that we should do next because, yeah, the other quests, like this is definitely main quest advancement. So this might be interesting, especially if there's a new area unlocked from it as well. Okay. Cool. Just thinking of anything else that we need to do before we're ready to head out. I think it's just that quest. Okay, anyone on the local map changed position? Nope. Okay. We could go and see Varric, just see if he has anything new to say. Temporarily, just while we're thinking about what to do. Yeah, let's go see Varric. He'll probably say hello. And that might be it.
Shit. You shouldn't have to deal with all this, Rook. The sooner I can get out of here, the better.
Alright. Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure why Varric doesn't participate in the conversations. It kind of seems like he would still have something to add. But, anyway, that's fine. Right. I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. Next time, we are going to head to the deep roads of Harding in order to find out what's going on in the deep roads. And then we're going to go to Wiseup to try and recruit the Grey Wardens. So, I'll see you then. Goodbye.